Before we go anywhere, picture this: a huge dark sea, a single ship in the middle, and a man standing at the very front, staring into the endless water. His name is Ahab, and inside him burns a fire so strong that it will pull everyone around him into danger. This is not just a story about a whale. It's a story about obsession, revenge, friendship, fear, and the things inside us that we cannot run from. Stay with me until the end, because the ending of this journey is one of the most powerful in literature, and it might change how you see ambition, anger, and yourself. Let's begin. A man who needs the sea. Before anyone meets the whale, we meet a man with a simple desire: escape. Ishmael. He feels trapped on land. Life feels small. People feel predictable. Every conversation feels like the same conversation from the day before. He wants something bigger, something dangerous, something that shakes him awake. For him, the sea is not just water. It is freedom. It is possibility. It is a new beginning. So he decides, I need to go on a whaling voyage. A risky decision, but that's the point. He wants danger. Danger makes him feel alive. He begins traveling toward a whaling town, never imagining that this choice will place him on a ship controlled by a man whose mind is already half broken by revenge. When Ishmael arrives at the inn where sailors stay before voyages, he discovers something he didn't expect. His room is already taken. A large, tattoo-covered stranger is sleeping in his bed. He has a spear beside him. His skin is full of markings like ancient stories carved into his body. At first, Ishmael is terrified, but fear melts into curiosity. Curiosity becomes understanding. This man is Queequeg, a harpooner from a faraway island. He may look frightening, but he is calm, kind, peaceful in ways Ishmael has never been. Two very different men, yet they form a bond quickly, the way certain people just fit. Even in the strangest places, this friendship will save lives later and break hearts. Ishmael and Queequeg sign up for a whaling voyage aboard a ship named the Pequod. The ship feels alive. Its wood is old, its sails are weathered, it has survived storms, battles with whales, and years of harsh seas. But the strangest thing is the atmosphere. The crew whispers, not about storms, not about whales, about the captain, Captain Ahab. He is not on deck when they leave the harbor. He stays in his cabin, hidden, silent. The crew says he has changed, that he used to be great, but after losing his leg to a monstrous white whale, something broke inside him, something deep, something dangerous. The ship leaves port carrying barrels of food, ropes, harpoons, and a destiny none of the sailors understand yet. At sea, nights feel different. The ocean becomes a mirror. The moon turns the water silver. The ship creaks like it is whispering secrets to the waves. On one of these nights, the crew finally hears it. A slow, heavy step, followed by a long scrape across the wood. Step, scrape, step, scrape. Captain Ahab is walking on deck, but he doesn't walk normally. He walks on a leg made from a whale's bone. He steps into the moonlight. His face is sharp. His eyes burn with a strange light, the kind that makes you feel he hasn't slept in years. He calls the entire crew together. What happens next is the moment that changes the voyage forever. Ahab nails a shining gold coin to the mast, the central wooden pole of the ship. He lifts his hand and says, "Whoever finds the great white whale first will win this gold." The men cheer until Ahab speaks again. This whale, Moby-Dick, is the creature that took his leg. That destroyed part of his life, that he wants to kill more than he wants to breathe. At that moment, the truth is clear. This is not a normal voyage. This is a hunt, a revenge mission. Ahab doesn't want oil. He doesn't want money. He wants the whale, and he will cross any ocean to find it. Suddenly, the coin doesn't feel like a reward. It feels like a warning. Weeks pass. The ship enters new waters, colder, darker, wilder. Whales appear. The men hunt them. But Ahab barely notices. He is obsessed only with the white one. Storms rise. Winds scream. The sky splits open with lightning. But no matter the weather, Ahab stands at the front of the ship, staring into the waves like he's listening for something. He believes he can feel the whale somewhere across the world. This obsession begins to infect the crew. Some admire him, some fear him, some are ready to mutiny, to take over the ship. Ahab doesn't care. His obsession is his map now. Strange things happen. A sailor swears he saw a ghostly figure on the water. Another hears knocking inside the hull, like something tapping from the inside. A storm covers the ship in blue flames, a strange natural effect called St. Elmo's fire. The men believe it is a sign. Maybe from the heavens, maybe from the sea. Either way, fear grows like a shadow across the deck. One night, a crew member has a terrifying dream. He sees the ship sinking, the waves swallowing everything, and a giant white shape rising beneath them. When he wakes, he refuses to work, but Ahab stares him down until the man obeys. Ahab's power over them becomes frightening. One morning, another ship appears, damaged, tired, and broken by storms. The captain calls out, "We saw the white whale. It destroyed half our boats." Ahab's eyes shine with wild excitement. He screams one question, "Where did it go?" But the other captain only shakes his head. "It travels fast," he says, "faster than any ship can follow." The warning is clear. This whale is a force of nature. It does not want to be found, but it will destroy anything that tries. Ahab ignores all warnings. The chase continues. After months at sea, something unusual happens. The ocean becomes still. No waves, no wind, just silence. The crew feels uneasy. Too much peace is suspicious. Then a sailor at the top of the mast freezes. He whispers almost too quietly to hear, "I see it." No one moves. Everyone listens. "I see him." A chill spreads across the ship. After more than a year, Moby-Dick has finally been found. The first attack. The whale rises from the water like a mountain, white, scarred, massive, the size of a building, the strength of a storm. Ahab shouts orders, his voice shaking with excitement. The crew rushes into the smaller whaling boats. They row toward the beast. But Moby-Dick is smarter than a normal whale, stronger, faster. He dives, disappearing beneath them. For a moment, everything is quiet, too quiet. Then the water erupts. The whale explodes upward, smashing one of the boats into pieces. Men fly into the air. The sea turns violent. The battle lasts minutes, but it feels like hours. The whale escapes. The men barely survive. Ahab laughs, a terrible, joyful laugh. "We will chase him again tomorrow," he says. The crew is terrified, but they have no choice. Ahab controls the ship, and the ship controls their fate. Day 2. The sea takes its price. The next day, the ocean roars with more fury. The chase begins again. Moby-Dick charges the boats, flipping them like toys. Oars break. Harpoons snap. Sailors scream. The men beg Ahab to stop. He refuses. His obsession has swallowed his soul. He believes the whale is not just an animal, but his destiny. By sunset, the ship is damaged. Men are bleeding. But Ahab smiles as if this is all part of his plan. Day 3. The end of the quest. The third day is calm, deadly calm. Moby-Dick appears again, as if he has returned for one final encounter. Ahab stands tall, ready for his last battle. He throws his harpoon with all his strength. It hits the whale, but the rope catches around Ahab's neck. Moby-Dick dives, and Ahab is pulled from the deck, dragged down into the deep, swallowed by the ocean he challenged. The whale crashes into the ship itself. The Pequod breaks apart. Water floods every corner. The ship sinks faster than anyone can react. One by one, the crew disappears beneath the surface, all except one. Ishmael survives by clinging to a floating object, the coffin that Queequeg had carved earlier when he believed he was dying. The coffin becomes a lifeboat. He floats alone for hours, then days, watching pieces of the Pequod drift beside him. The ocean that once promised adventure now holds only silence and memory. Finally, another ship finds him. Ishmael lives to tell the story. He becomes the witness, the only voice able to warn others about obsession, revenge, and the things humans chase even when it destroys them. Moby-Dick is more than a tale of a whale. It is a reminder. You can chase a dream so hard that it becomes a nightmare. You can pursue revenge so deep that it eats your soul. You can follow a leader so obsessed that he pulls you into destruction with him. But Ishmael's survival teaches something too. Even when the sea swallows almost everything, even when fate feels heavy, even when the world seems too big, one story, one voice, one survivor can still rise from the waves. And today, that voice is you. Learning English, learning storytelling, learning to understand the world in new ways. If this story helped you understand English more deeply, if it helped you see characters, emotions, and ideas more clearly, imagine learning like this every week. Don't lose this progress. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay close. I'm creating something special to help you read, think, and speak English with confidence. You don't want to miss what's coming next.